And welcome back to Grand Slam Sports. I'm Kennedy Phelps, one of the contributors of this beautiful show, and I just wanted to make a little PSA to my fellow people on the show, who I was the only person who predicted that the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. So all I got to say is Red Kingdom. Back to the desk.
Sam?
Well, I mean, you just heard from Kennedy there. Welcome to Grand Slam Sports. What a game. And, I mean, I was with three of my homeboys. We were watching the television. We were jumping up and down screaming because Patrick Mahomes looked like he couldn't do anything in the first half. And then he went to the locker room. Probably Taylor Swift gave him a kiss on the forehead and suddenly turned into a guy who could throw the ball anywhere on the field, especially on what we were talking about earlier, Jace, your point of like the low checkdowns and Pacheco coming out of the backfield trying to find those easy runs.
I mean, the Chiefs' offense was never really rolling by any standard. It was more of the defense allowing opportunities for Mahomes late in that game and in overtime. The lockdown corners of McDuffie and Snead both had a great game, shutting down Ayuk, Debo. Obviously, Debo had some injury problems there here and there, but mainly Kittle. I think he had one or two catches for maybe 40 yards. And Kittle, everyone thought coming in he's going to have a huge game. It was that revenge game for him, and he just didn't produce because Kansas City, their linebackers and corners, they did a great job in that zone or in man to shut down any openings.
I talked about it before the game. I mean, during our segment last week where I said that the problem for the Chiefs would be how good that 49ers D-line is at pressure. However, whenever you're under pressure, you want to throw it short. Now, the 49ers were known for their linebackers, but losing Dre Greenlaw as he walks onto the field, which is,
nobody wants to see that.
You knew what happened the minute that was shown.
Will likely put him out for the first few weeks of next season as well.
It's just, our thoughts and prayers are with him, especially on the biggest stage like that.
And that first drive, he had that major impact. He had two big plays, got the team into it. I know. I mean, he's one of those. He's one of those pieces that you just cannot be without if you're the San Fran defense.
Yeah, and it was very obvious. I mean, we talked about how Kelsey is a legend at finding the wide open zone, and that open zone is going to be a lot more open whenever you're missing your best one of your best pass rushers.
Definitely. I mean, it was a good game to watch. I enjoyed it. It was one of those games where but for you especially, in the overtime, do you want the ball first or second? Which one do you want?
You want the ball second. Because with these new overtime rules, you do not want to get that ball first, because then that puts the ball in the hands of the other team with a chance to go win the game almost no matter what.
Even in the hands of Mahomes.
And in that scenario, it's in the hands of Mahomes. You see, San Fran took that ball first. They kicked that field goal. The entire world knew it was over. Mm-hmm. San Fran was not stopping Kansas City. I mean, they had that 4th and 1. They have a triple option. You can't stop that.
So if you were in the 49ers, it was 4th down, right?
Yep.
Would you have gone for it?
I would have gone for it in that scenario, honestly, because that puts your defense in a big – I mean, if you don't get it, then your defense knows what they need to do, especially. But if you do get it, you score a touchdown, and you have that first foot towards getting the Super Bowl trophy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you give the ball to Mahomes down by 3, he's going to go win the game.
And with Butker on that team, even if Mahomes doesn't get it, if you even pass the half-field mark, he's kicking that
You
field
saw
goal.
that at the end of regulation. Instead of trying to squeeze in that touchdown at the end, they just let the
and San
clock wind
Fran,
down.
they had their moments. After the 2-minute warning, it was that 3rd and 4. A first down there essentially ended the game. They could have kicked the game-winning field goal. They had multiple moments on 3rd down where they could have really iced that football game, but they just couldn't do it.
So question for you guys, especially for this game, is it 49ers missing opportunities or Mahomes magic? Which one is going to be the bigger headline, especially?
I would say missing opportunities technically, but I wouldn't say it was because they just screwed up. If you talk about those 3rd down plays, I mean, what's the one man that comes to mind when I think of the 3rd down plays is Chris Jones.
Yeah.
That man was in the backfield every single time.
There was that one play, Purdy had a guy wide open on that, I think it was a fade route from a tight end and receiver, and I mean, it was wide open, and Chris Jones blew the play up.
Yeah. And so you could say missed opportunities because, I guess they screwed up on it. But it was the Chiefs' defense that completely turned. And also,
I mean, San Fran on some of those it's 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. In this scenario, I would still consider giving the ball off to Christian McCaffrey. He's probably your best playmaker on the team.
Best running back in the league. I mean, I think that's a pretty safe assumption. Yeah. And give it to your
next year in fantasy, I'm definitely not trading him to Charles nor trading him in general. But I mean, I think from the standpoint of me rooting for the 49ers, at least for this past weekend, I think there's a bit of, at least for me, a little bit of dang, they had that game.
Yeah. It was the same thing as 3 years ago when they played each other. San Fran had the game in the bag, and they
Got
sold.
their foot on the neck, and then Kansas
And
City
see, that
rolled.
raises the question of Shanahan. Is he a big game winning coach? Because he's been in the Super Bowl 3 times.
Well, how much
once
is
as an OC with the Falcons, they lost 28-3. They were down. They were up 28-3, and they lost the lead to your Patriots. And now, twice as a head coach with San Fran, he's choked the lead.
Well, how much of that is Shanahan's fault, though? How much of it is Shanahan's fault? I mean, everybody can go on about, like, it's all about good coaching, it's about it. And to an extent it is. But he can't audible a play call. He can't.
And granted, he went against
has
two of the
8
best
seconds.
QBs of all time in Brady and
Yes.
Mahomes. So,
He has 8 seconds to talk to Brock Purdy about a play call.
yeah.
That's it. You're basically giving Brock Purdy and you could say, if you're the defensive coordinator, the mic, basically free reign to do what they want. To an extent, I see where they're like, okay, Shanahan's not a big game coach. But he can't control what his players do.
Charles, I want to hear your input on this.
Personally, I think a lot of people are really too quick to just toss the blame at coaches. I think that sometimes it's not their fault. I think him getting them to these situations, he's very clearly a coach loved by the players. I mean, he is the coach for this team, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
do not believe that it was his fault. I believe that it was injuries, Mahomes, and just an unfortunate group of things that just happened there during that game. But I don't necessarily think it was Shanahan's fault at all.
Wow.
I mean, he's open to the Super Bowl, but still, I still think
He's hunting for it.
He'll
Does
have
that
more
make you
chances.
angry?
He'll have more
I was
chances.
about to say, if he retains
Yeah.
the same defense, obviously, Montez Sweat, and Nick are both the boat.
And Chase Young's a free agent.
And Chase.
I mean, Chase Young had been he was getting talked about, before the Super Bowl because he hasn't made any big plays for San Fran yet because he was kind of non-existent in these last few games in the playoffs. He had that sack, I think, to begin the game and then just did nothing
Sort of
else.
sets the tone. Yeah. I mean, I think good players show up in big games.
Yeah.
And towards the end, Mahomes decided to be like, all right, guys, hold on. Let me adjust my cleats.
That game felt very similar at the beginning to the Chiefs versus Buccaneers Super Bowl, where Mahomes was getting chased down at every single play. But it was different this time. Mahomes seemed to have some of that voodoo magic this time that we know him to have.
He had answers. He had answers to what they were throwing at him. All right, we're going to move on to I just want to talk about some of the quarterbacks here. I mean, the top, I would say, 5 so picks. I mean, I believe it goes Bears, Washington, New England,
Arizona, yeah.
Cardinals, and then who's the 5th pick?
Not 100%.
Chargers.
Chargers. There you go.
But I just wanted your guys' quick takes on who do you think are going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
Well, I mean, you have a stacked quarterback class compared to what we usually have. Drake May, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, a number of others.
A sea of quarterbacks.
And you even
Because
have like Bo Nix and Michael Penix who could fall late first round, who could be JJ McCarthy.
as well.
Listen to the names of the quarterbacks. This is going to be a stacked quarterback class, and I think at least 2 teams are going to find their franchise quarterback in this draft.
I think the biggest thing that we're talking about right here is this is a top 5. We're in a group of quarterbacks. We're not getting a guaranteed quarterback at the pick because most of these three, I'd say about 2 of the 5 teams are pretty set on
3 of the 5. I'd say 3 of the 5.
Yeah,
I would say Arizona with Kyler, LAC with Herbert, and I think Chicago will stick with Justin.
I don't think Chicago.
I don't think they will.
No. I know that you are very huge on the Patriots getting Justin Fields and blah blah blah.
No, you mean him?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say you looking at me. I was like, what?
To me, the city of Chicago loves Fields.
Yeah.
The coaching staff loves Fields. Fields loves being there. You got to go Harrison here or trade away the pick.
No, I agree. That's why I think Chicago will stick with Fields. Give him one more year. He's had a new quarterback coach every single season.
No, but listen, Caleb, you're gonna tell me that you're gonna get rid of one of the best arm talents, creative. You're gonna pass it.
Because you would give what you think is your top quarterback franchise-wise a receiver that could be one of the best receivers we've ever seen.
Yep.
Well, he can't be a good receiver if you can't get him the damn ball.
I think Fields can get him the ball. I think
Fields can. You got to give him a time to actually pass it. The O-line has not been anything special.
O-line needs to be the focus of this draft, which this is a pretty good draft to do it. Personally, I'm going to draft Marvin or trade the first. I'm not drafting Caleb here.
I say you draft Marvin or you trade it to...
What pick would you take for Justin Fields? If you were the Bears, what pick? If somebody offered you a pick, what pick?
They're not getting a first.
They're not getting a first. It'd be a second at most.
It'd be, I would say...
Sorry, let me rephrase my question. If you were the general manager of the Chicago Bears, and a team came to you, what pick would you want for Justin?
Obviously, they'll want a first round, but they aren't going to get a first round out of anybody for Fields.
Yeah, no. I would want a first round, and I'm probably not getting one, so probably I wouldn't trade him. I mean,
I agree.
What if somebody offered you a 36 round pick? Would you take it?
36 overall?
Yeah.
I mean, in this circumstance,
early, like really, really early second round.
Would it tempt you? 50-50
that's that. Yeah, it would definitely tempt me. I mean, 36 pick, it should tempt you no matter who you're trading, unless it's like an untouchable. But the thing about Fields is, like I said, there are some places where you got to be smarter as a coach than you can in other places. Chicago is the very dictionary definition of that. Their fan base is very passionate, and if you go against what that fan base wants, if you go against what the ownership wants, that is a one-way ticket to you being booed out of a building.
But what if the fans want Caleb Williams and the fans want Justin Fields and ownership wants Caleb Williams? What do you do?
Then you have to make that you're getting shot in the foot no matter what. But personally,
exactly. So I feel like that's how it is.
If they're going to stick with Nagy, why not stick with Fields?
Yeah, I mean, they stuck with Nagy for a while. I mean, I think that Justin Fields is still the answer for their problems. I think that he will be the best quarterback that this team has seen from a team of very
Jay Cutler might be
Jay Cutler.
And give him the best possible receiving help. You have money. Go after O-line. You just got rid of almost $20 million in cap space by getting rid of Eddie Jackson last night. Go after O-line, draft Marvin Harrison. You have a phenomenal team on the come up.
So how I see this going, I see Marv going one, Chicago, if they'll trade. Number 2 being Washington, correct?
Yep, correct.
Caleb Williams is going there. Yeah. They signed Cliff Kingsbury. He worked with Caleb Williams last season.
It makes me so mad because
it makes the most sense for Caleb Williams to go to the Commanders.
Caleb Williams have a field day with Curtis Samuel and Terry McLaurin if they both stay and do that.
And then I think New England might have to go Drake May.
Yeah, we'll probably have to go
Drake May fits their system pretty well. So
I just don't want someone to. Well, it's a new coach. Like I don't think they're going to go a player that I was looking at Jaden Daniels more than Drake May, to be honest.
I mean the argument's there. But if you look at who I think is more NFL ready, I think it's going to be Drake May.
I'm an LSU fan. I'm still saying Drake May fits better with the Patriots. I think ceiling-wise, Jaden Daniels will be better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still going to.
I agree.
So. I'm still going to believe in my alternate reality of us trading for Justin Fields and taking Marvin Harrison Jr. at third.
Fields, if he was anywhere, I bet you he goes like Pittsburgh or something.
Pittsburgh.
I just don't
pick 51. That's what I was saying. Pick 51. He's going with Pittsburgh.
You guys are like trying to say that Chicago's not going to take Caleb Williams on draft night. We'll have a draft watch party of Grandstand Sports if there's 15 or so round picks, whatever. But when the Bears take Caleb Williams, all hell is going to break loose. Because everyone's
So when the Bears take Marvin Harrison or trade the first overall pick, then we'll talk.
Okay, that's fine with me. We're going to move on. We're going to move on to some free agents here to end the NFL portion of our show. Starting with Charles, who is your top 3 biggest names on this list?
I think looking at this list right here, we got to talk about Chris Jones, number 1. Chris Jones. This is the battle of D-line for the free agency. Chris Jones just coming off a Super Bowl. I don't think he leaves, honestly.
There's no way Kansas City doesn't re-sign him. You would think.
Chris Jones just kind of won them.
He loves it there. I mean, you could tell.
The fans love him too.
The fans love him. I mean, the city loves him. But he's been there for every Super Bowl.
Let's kind of look more at the edge. We have Josh Allen, Brian Burns, Danielle Hunter,
and Chase Young. It's a stacked edge.
Brian Burns is 100%, in my opinion, gone. I don't see
Brian
him
Burns is not going back to Carolina, not for a rebuild.
Extremely fast. He's extremely quick off the edge, one of the best moves rushers in the game.
Very physical.
He will be phenomenal on any team that he goes to. Chase Young, I know we talked about him not finding much as a spot, but he's one of the best pressure D linemen, and he's one of the in-your-face guys.
But you know who I see better than Brian Burns? Josh Allen, the Jaguars.
I think he stays in Jacksonville. I think that their rebuild is not.
I think he fits there perfectly.
I think the Jaguars last season was sort of like a glimpse and a shimmer of what they can be.
Yeah.
There's some weeks where you got Travis Etienne going, you got Evan Ingram going. You got Ridley.
They have this squad there. They just didn't put it all together to end off the season. They struggled there at the end, and obviously they missed the playoffs, which was crazy.
It made me some money. It made me some money.
They bottled it too. So, for you as a Colts fan, how concerning is it that Pittman is on this list?
It's a little bit concerning. All signs point towards him re-signing. Yeah. But in the recent weeks, he's been very adamant that he wants to see what kind of money he can make in free agency.
Which is the reasonable thing to do. If I'm in free agency, I'm seeing everything. All due respect, unless I'm really committed to the city, I'm going to go out there and be like, hey, I'm not saying I'm done with the Colts, but everyone,
I still
throw
think
your money at me.
I still think in free agency he'll come back to Indy because I think we can give him the most.
Yeah.
Of any team. So I think he'll end up being a Colts, but I give it about a 30% chance he goes elsewhere.
I mean, if he does leave, what wide receiver on this list are you thinking about picking up? The Phillips, or if you do, because you have Alec Pierce, who was decent for you. You have Joshua. I love Downs. I'm a Patriots fan. I hate the Colts, but I like Downs. Downs is
I don't know if the Colts
out.
aren't one of those teams to go out in free agency and poach a big name player.
Right.
They usually build through the draft. So if I had to guess, they'll just draft a receiving tight end or receiver in the draft, such as Brock Bowers, who might fall to that 15th overall pick. It's
Dude,
very
if you guys get Brock Bowers to me is a
Brock
potential
Bowers,
in
Mel
my
Kiper
opinion, is he's the
actually-
best player in this draft.
Dude, he
Position
went
wise.
up to rank 7, I think, in the boards right now. So
Honestly, he
loves-
seems like a Jets pick. I feel like even though we need O-line, we're going to go Brock Bowers.
Yeah, but the thing
because
is,
he's
he's a
generational.
tight end. The value of those isn't as high as it can be.
Yeah.
Well,
which is why
listen,
he might
they
fall.
said the same thing about Kyle Pitts. They said the same. Generational, Florida, physical,
Kyle Pitts is
pass catch.
Kyle
He's still
Pitts can still be
generational. He's just on the
generational.
Falcons
The
where they don't
Falcons-
use their players.
Exactly.
The
Taylor
Falcons,
Heineke, when Taylor Heineke played, he dished the rock.
no, the Falcons are the team. They're like the Lay's variety pack, where they take only the Fritos. They only take the Fritos. They have all the best of the business, but they only take
They have
the
some of the
Fritos.
most generational players, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, but they just don't know how to use them. Or they just don't use them.
They don't use them. They're just like, oh, look at that big scary guy over there. He's just gonna wave. He's not gonna do anything. So if you,
He's gonna wave and
Kyle
not do
Pitts
anything.
is still generational. Brock Bowers will be generational.
Yeah.
It's just where he fall because he's a tight end.
The problem with me about Kyle Pitts is we watched Jonnu Smith, that's got traded from New England, terrible season, outperform him some weeks.
Because they used him more.
Yeah,
They have
that's
more
just
sets
more
than
of a
Kyle Pitts.
usage. I mean, get Kyle Pitts, free my boy. Let's start a movement.
my boy.
Free Kyle Pitts.
Free Kyle Pitts.
Quarterback, Kirk, Captain Kirk. Where's he going? Is he staying? Is he going?
He's going back to Minnesota. Minnesota has to do that, or they're going to lose Jefferson.
Really?
Jefferson has been saying he wants Kirk back, or he might consider going elsewhere. So I think the Vikings need to re-sign Kirk.
Saquon Barkley, Charles. Is he going anywhere? Is he staying?
Honestly,
don't know
running
about him
backs are
anymore.
just so. It feels like running backs just don't mean. I mean, because Dalvin Cook last year was the same thing, and then I honestly forgot he was a Raven until I played him with him on Madden. So the issue is Saquon.
I might trade for him, actually. He sounds pretty good.
Saquon needs to find a place that will use him. And honestly, the Giants are that place. While they're still trying to figure out their quarterback, I say stay with the Giants.
I mean, you see Derrick Henry on the list too. What more can he give a team still? I mean,
New
he's
England!
getting- okay, Sam, and you're
You're
over your head now. You want everything, huh?
Well, I mean, we took Zeke on a 1-year deal. I see us, at least my Patriots, sort of poaching this free agency, maybe dabbling.
sign all the old players and be crappy 2 years
Dolphins.
ago.
Dalton
Say
Schultz.
Dolphins.
I would take Dalton Schultz.
Dolphins when they have Raheem Mostert.
Yeah,
Because
there's no
the
way
Dolphins, number one, they already expressed interest in him. Number two, the thing is,
Then you're gonna
with-
then you would look to trade one of your other running backs.
Yeah, 'cause they have-
we
There's
talk.
no way
Mostert
you have
is
a
almost
running
30,
back.
above 30. We talk about Mostert and Achane. They're both pretty much the same player. They are literally younger version of each other. You get rid of Mostert, you get Henry as a power back. You have Achane more as a third down running back,
I can see
speed,
that.
using him more in the passing game. But
I feel like one of them would be not happy.
but Raheem Mostert's like 32. I mean, if I'm taking two 30-year-old players, I'm going with Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
And with Derrick Henry, the issue with this Dolphins team is in the red zone. Who do they go to? Tyreek Hill's like 5'8". Jalen Waddle wasn't the best in the red zone. Achane's more of an elusive running
Tua
back.
turn
He's
the ball
not-
over, can't throw a ball.
Yeah, you
Tua's
give
throwing
it
the
to
ball
the
over.
literal Titan that is probably more muscle than he is anything else,
Yeah.
and you let him run it in. That right there, to me, is the best case for the Dolphins. Don't do it, please. I'm a Jets fan. But
Oh, that's crazy.
But looking at the rest of free agency, look at the DBs. There's some good ones in there too for corners
Yep.
and safeties. Jalen
Snead.
Johnson from the Bears, L'Jarius Sneed. I'm sure he'll go back
Snead
to the
won't
Chiefs as
leave,
well.
Snead's not going to leave.
Antoine Winfield.
No. The one that I'm most concerned about, who played phenomenal this year, is my Kyle Duggar.
Mm-hmm.
That is the name that is staring me in the face right now, and it's making me very depressed because I do not see him re-signing with the Patriots. And as much as I want to sit here and look at you guys,
Womp womp.
as much as I want to sit here and look at you guys and be like, hey, the Patriots defense didn't play bad this past season. It wasn't the Patriots defense.
How many wins do you guys have?
who
4?
kicked us. But it wasn't the defense, is my point, is that it was the offense. We couldn't get anything going on offense.
What happened in Germany?
What?
What happened in Germany?
This guy.
the issue is with Kyle Duggar.
Hey, at least
Sorry.
my running backs catch the ball.
least had a chance to make the playoffs.
See that?
Now, Kyle Duggar, here's the issue with him. There isn't anywhere for him to play on the field. I mean, the Patriots have an unreasonable amount of solid safeties to where there is no reason for them to even spend the money on him.
Well,
just keep Jabril.
It's gonna be interesting, especially where everybody goes. I mean, I'm gonna be interested, especially Saquon, Kirk, Kyle Duggar,
Kenny
especially
Moore.
Jace. Kenny.
He's staying.
That'd be a fun one.
Cameron Curl as well. Very interested to watch. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back to the desk. Charles and Jace with MLB.
Welcome back in for some baseball talk for the first time in a while. We can talk some baseball. Charles, obviously you being the baseball analyst of the group here. The pitchers coming up in spring training. Pitchers and catchers have reported for all 30 MLB teams now. Baseball's right around the corner.
Thank you. It's baseball season now. The football is out, and we got to celebrate it in style by talking about some of these new pitchers and new places. So first off, the one I want to talk about, Paul Skeens, drafted from LSU, coming into Pittsburgh. We're going to get to see him a little bit if
Hopefully
he does play for Indianapolis.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
But he reported into spring training. He will be playing at spring training. How are you feeling about him?
I mean, being that first overall pick, he has high expectations for him. So obviously he's going to want to perform.
Yeah.
Especially in this, because if he performs well in this spring training, that's going to get him more looks, possibly go majors even this year.
He could go majors day one if
right now,
they really
honestly,
wanted
he
to.
can go majors if he wants.
The Pirates have one of the worst pitching staffs in the league, and it's just it's Mitch Keller, and then just that tops off there. And so it feels like, if you want to go with Skeens at this point, you can't really hurt him too bad. So I would understand that, but we'll see kind of where they go from that. Obviously, we're going to talk about Yamamoto. One of the biggest free agent signings behind Shohei, coming in from Japan. The Dodgers are obviously now looking like they're going to be the best team, but no one wants them to win.
If they win it, it's just no one will be surprised. It's the LA Dodgers. They have the most stacked powerhouse roster. You'd be surprised if Dodgers won it?
They have a habit of losing to 7 seeds.
7 seeds? It doesn't even exist in the MLB.
6 seeds. Sorry, wrong sport. They're going to lose like the 83 win Phillies
Reds.
or something. Yeah,
Reds,
the Reds.
the Reds.
Yeah, the Reds are going to absolutely pop 22 runs in a game.
The Rockies.
Yeah, the Rockies pulling it out. Yeah, it's just the Dodgers do what the Dodgers do. That's kind of what they're known for doing. But they also have the best team I think they may have ever had. So we'll see.
When you're giving players money that they don't pay them until 10 years later, that helps your cap.
Don't blame Shohei. I'd do the same thing. However, it still sucks. That's a rule. We need to fix that. Get rid of that.
That needs to be a rule change ASAP, because that's horrible.
We have Chris Sale. This was one of them that completely flew under the radar for me, going to the Braves.
Really? I didn't even know
Genuinely did not know this until I was researching for this episode.
Listen, how long ago was he a Red Sox? Was it last year or am I tripping?
A few years. Yeah, it was last year. Yeah.
Okay.
He's a Red Sox. Sure. He's been on Sox his entire career, playing for the White Sox and the Red Sox, and he's a White Sox legend. I'm a White Sox fan. I love Chris Sale. Super excited to see that lefty action in Atlanta for a team that could use a little bit more pitching and is going to have to fight the tough battle for beating the Dodgers. So.
It's exciting times, baseball around the corner. When football ends, baseball, it's creeping up on you. And how soon does it start, spring training?
I want to say spring training is within the next few weeks. The season itself starts in less than 2 months. So
when is it?
End of March.
End of March?
Third week of March, I want to say. Opening day is like March 20th.
Only a month and a half away from some baseball.
Absolutely.
Season baseball.
I cannot wait. I will be watching opening day with a probably frown on my face because White Sox are going to suck this year. But he will be watching it with a smile because the Yankees are looking pretty solid this year with the Soto and Stroman signings.
It should be a great year. If Garrett Cole performs the way he did last year, should be a great season for the Yankees. Should get back in the playoffs because not making the playoffs for the Yankees is horrible. It's tragic.
If the Knicks were not good, New York would be burning down right now because
Giants and Jets both bad. Yankees and Mets were both bad, and the Knicks, thank goodness for them, they're good. But that's basketball talk.
Love the Knicks. Moving on to the last pitcher on my list, Corbin Burns traded to the Orioles. One of my favorite moves because we have been talking about it for years.
We've been saying the Orioles, they needed to go out and get some big name players to go along with this young squad they have.
Or just an ace.
And they went and got their man. The Orioles did their thing.
A Cy Young winner. That's a pretty good ace to get. Someone I didn't even know would be available this offseason, considering the Brewers were, in my opinion, still in contention.
And the Orioles, they sold their team, didn't they? The owner sold their team to a new ownership. Now they have, and they have a whole lot more money now. The Orioles, well, they're on the up and the up now.
Yeah,
they were the 1 seed last year. Well, they're going to be a whole lot better this year.
We were talking about it. The Orioles' biggest problem would be retaining players, and with that new money coming in.
They did just well. They did just fine.
They might do just fine coming in these next few years. So that'd be really
AL
interesting
East
to see.
is going to be tough.
AL East is going to be fun. I'm happy to be a member of the AL Central right now because
the AL East might be the best division in all of baseball ever.
The White Sox are currently competing with the I don't know yet. Twins, I guess, yeah. The Twins are solid, I guess, but I mean.
Tigers,
yeah. So hopefully the White Sox.
The AL East, though, the Yankees, the Rays, the Orioles, the Red Sox, the Blue Jays. Even.
I think the Red Sox, who are probably going to be worse in the AL East, would be
every time, I feel like
Central.
every year we say they're going to be the worst, they always end up being the best. The Red Sox. They
have no hope.
You can't figure it out.
They have no hope in this division this year. They have very few bright spots.
Now, if they go and win it, I'm blaming you. 100%.
If they go and win it, I'll be happy because Red Sox are a favorite.
I would not be a happy person, personally.
Second favorite team in the East behind the Blue Jays. But we'll be talking a little bit more about them.
So you just like Sox?
I love the Red Sox. I mean, hey.
Well, you're a White Sox fan. Now you're a Red Sox.
But I'm not a Red Sox fan. I like the Blue Jays in the AL East. I mean, my family's Canadian, so I mean, can't.
Oh, we said second favorite team. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't hate on the Blue Jays. Blue Jays is my second favorite team.
I'm gonna say I thought it was Toronto.
I might just become a Blue Jays fan this year because
honestly,
at least I can be happy.
At least you get Vladdy.
Yeah, at least I can be a little bit happy on something. So city jerseys were just
the
9 teams were announced by Nike. One of them being a repeat for some reason. I do not know why the Dodgers are getting another one. However, it is what it is. Me and Jace each picked a team we are most excited for to be getting their city jerseys and kind of what we think they're going to be. So, Jace, your pick?
I think Tampa. I mean, Tampa, they have some basic jerseys usually, but they have a lot they can do with that colorway if they implement that old like greenish they had and the actual ray itself. You know the Sea Ray, whatever the thing is. If they can Stingray, that's what it is. I can't my brain, man. But like if they implement that somehow into the jersey, I feel like they could make a really cool uniform.
Absolutely. I had an honorable mention. I'm a fan of the Cardinals. I really think that the Cardinals are going to have the arch. I guarantee you part of that jersey. It's going to look really good. It's also going to be nice to see a Cardinals jersey that isn't the same 4 jerseys they've had since they've existed. As well as the Blue Jays. That's my pick. Okay. Toronto is, like I said, I'm Canadian. I go to Canada normally once a year. And it's a beautiful country, and they're very proud of being Canadian. So if you're picking a jersey it won't just be a city jersey like the other ones where you're just picking off the city. You're picking off a country, and you have a lot of chance to represent it with the maple leaves and the red color, which I think their red looks phenomenal. Whenever
they could even include that building they have, the tower in Toronto.
Yep, exactly, and like using all those things to
make it a maple syrup color jersey.
I think logically they'll go red and white for the flag, and I think it'd be
a
beautiful.
Little brown wouldn't be too bad.
Maple syrup bottle on the sleeves, yeah.
Why not? Right?
Why not? We've seen worse. Like those Pirates jerseys.
Oh, Pirates.
It's awful. Moving on to our way too early awards and coming into the year. We got our I have the NL. You have the AL. We have the MVP, Cy Young, Most Improved Team, Least Improved Team. I'm going to start off with my NL MVP pick. I'm going Mookie Betts.
No.
The reason I'm saying Mookie Betts
is
because the Dodgers, Mookie Betts was already one of the best, was arguably.
But do you think with more star power coming in, he'll be limited more?
I think he will be better with more star power because as a pitcher, if you're going against Shohei, you're going against Freeman, you're going against Betts, you're going against this, you're going to get tired easily. You're not going to last as long in games. You're not going to be playing 6-7 innings. So then those star pitchers go out of the game. Then you get the relief in where they're a little bit worse. And then you get to that point where Betts is just going to be hitting on an easier
If the Dodgers are good, I'd just give up. I hate the Dodgers.
I didn't hate the Dodgers until this offseason.
I've always hated them. I've always hated them because they always have that money to spend.
So do the Yankees, though.
Well, listen, but that's okay because I like them. But that's one of the reasons I don't like the MLB as much is because of how all the money stuff works.
The reason
because those bigger markets can pay a lot more money than those small market teams. Compared to something like the NFL, each team has the same salary cap.
Yeah, well, you can see something like Kansas City, a random state that means nothing.
They've won 3 Super Bowls in the last 5 years.
I personally like baseball, partially, I want to say for that reason. I do hate it, but it also builds our Cinderella stories because Texas bought a lot, but they're not necessarily
one of those teams that do that. They tend to have 1 or 2 years of greatness and then just horrible for the next 10 years.
And the Padres and Mets are a fine example of money does not win championships. People that think that are stupid. You do not just win whenever you spend money in baseball. because you actually have to have a good team, a team that works together, a team that meshes together, a good farm system, all these little aspects. But or you could just spend like $250 million on Fernando Tatis, who gets a suspension for PEDs, Manny Machado, who was very struggling hitting, and Juan Soto, who left within a season, and Xander Bogaerts, who is like 30 now. So I mean, it's just to the point where, like, yeah, you spend $200 million, but what does it mean if you're just not winning
That's
games?
why I'm intrigued to see how Baltimore handles this. Because they're still a smaller market team, being a Baltimore team. How are they going to continue to keep these Orioles a great squad? Because, I mean, last year they had that phenomenal underdog season, and they were the 1 seed, I think. But can they continue that level of success having not as much money as the Dodgers or Yankees?
If I'm one of those teams, I got to focus on kind of sticking to your identity. Don't let the fame and the lights and the money get to you. And I think they'll be just fine. Who is your AL MVP pick?
I'm going to go Vladdy. I mean, he's bound for one huge season. He's been on the cusp of like greatness. This year he might take that leap to that MVP level. I mean, obviously there's many great candidates in the AL. With the Astros having many great players, the Yankees, you see Aaron Judge, of course. I mean, it could really be a number of 4 or 5 players in the AL that win the MVP. But I'll take Vladdy to take the huge jump this year and give me Toronto to maybe even win the AL.
I like the sound of that. Yeah, I might as well just become a Blue Jays fan.
That pain me to say a little bit, but it's okay.
Might as well just become a Blue Jays fan this season, so I can at least be a little bit happy.
They almost got Shohei. Almost got Shohei. They were supposed to get Shohei.
I was jumping in my seat because, like I said, I'm a White Sox fan. So I mean, getting Shohei out of the AL. But Blue Jays obviously always have the place in my heart. So I mean, I would have loved to definitely see that. Moving on to our Cy Young picks, I'm doing a little bit of a little loop-de-loop here. I got Zach Gallen from the Diamondbacks, one of the best pure pitchers in the league. He actually has a pretty solid team coming in this year, and he has a little bit of help with Eduardo Rodriguez. And I think that he will take that leap from going to being a top 5 pitcher to the best pitcher in the NL.
Well, I think he won the Cy Young last year. Garrett Cole.
It's fair.
I mean, you see what he did last year with a struggling Yankees squad, continued to perform throughout the entire season. So what's to say he can't do it again this year?
It's fair. I respect that pick. We also picked our most improved and least improved. For my most improved team, I'm going there. Oh, I almost said Arizona. The St. Louis Cardinals.
I mean, they're bound to improve, right, off of last season. That's probably the worst season the Cardinals fans have seen in a long time. And I know that was rough for St. Louis fans to swallow because the Cardinals are never that bad.
And they get the luxury of pitching now. They got a few pitchers. They signed Sonny Gray. They got Lance Lynn. But they got a few other players that are going to help them out. Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt are still amazing. They have one of the best defenses in the entire league with Dylan Carlson, Tyler O'Neill. This team is built to succeed, especially in the NL Central, which is also just as bad as the AL Central. So, I mean, as long as they can beat the Cubs out, I think that they have a chance to win that division. Who's your most improved?
Well, I mean, they're bound to improve off of last season because I think they were the worst team in all of baseball.
Can't get much worse.
The Kansas City Royals. They didn't go out and sign any big name players, but they signed players that are going to do good enough to get them 70, 80 wins this season. I think they'll be improved. They won't be a playoff squad by any means, I don't think, but they're going to be much better than they were last season with that 50-win season I think they had.
And bring Bobby Witt back for basically his career, the 11 years and a lot of money. If I'm Bobby Witt, I'm not taking that deal. I'm waiting it out because you're one of the best shortstops in baseball. Wait it out a little bit, see where the direction goes. But hey, Bobby Witt's sold. Cole Reagans is going to be a pretty solid pitcher for this team. I'm sold. I don't want to be sold because this is the White Sox are the only team that aren't going forward in the Central, while every other team is. So
you think Detroit is still going forward?
I would say Detroit, they can't really go backwards.
That's true. That's very true.
The White Sox, they can because they were a team that were meant to be good and didn't play good. The Tigers were never meant to be good this year. That's true. Tigers, they can only go forward. White Sox are, when they trade Dylan Cease within the next year or two, the only hope we have is Luis Robert. So it is what it is. Tough. I'll be happy someday. My least improved is the Brewers. I mean, I don't get the trade. I don't understand the trade of.
I can't figure out. Did they sign? No, wait. It wasn't them. I'm tripping. Never mind. Go ahead.
They have Peralta.
Yeah.
They have Wood something. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
I thought I saw a thing about Gary Sanchez signed with the Brewers, but now it hasn't been confirmed by anyone.
Maybe. I don't know.
There was a report.
Offseason is so hard to
There was
follow.
a report that he went there, and then there's been no confirmation in the last 2 weeks about it.
Baseball offseason is so hard to follow because they send you so many messages on like Twitter and stuff, and you're just like, what?
Yeah.
So I understand that.
But for my least improved, I mean, you can't really improve when you lose the best player in baseball, the LA Angels. I mean, you still have Mike Trout, but you're still in the same place you've been for the last 10, 15 years, mediocrity.
Yeah. The Angels will continue to be awful. Might even do worse than the A's this year. Not gonna lie to you, the A's.
I don't know if you can do worse than the A's.
I have a little bit more excitement towards the A's than I do the Angels.
I hope the A's
right now.
stay. Didn't the Vegas mayor say that they should stay?
I think the deal's already been done.
I know, but even the Vegas mayor,
Yeah.
she said that Oakland should have kept the team because
The Oakland deal is another thing that it honestly it went over so quickly because we've been talking about it for so long that we just hadn't really thought about it. But that's going to be all for our MLB segment. We'll be right back after this short break, and Jace and Sam are going to talk about some soccer.
Welcome back in, Jace Hodge.
Sam Gailey.
Made a move over to the video wall to talk some, you guessed it, soccer for the first time in a while.
No, it's been
and
a while.
lot has
It's been
happened,
a
so
while.
we have a
Lots
lot
of
to get into. We'll get right into it, though. The January transfer window has closed.
Finally.
What are some of your favorite moves from January that you have heard about?
I mean, at least for my Bayern, I mean, we're going to talk, he's going to grill me about Eric Dyer here in a second, but I can already sense it coming. But I like Brian Zaragoza coming over from La Liga. He's a really young guy, left wing, likes how he plays. He's got a Spanish flair. I can really see him becoming a big star at Bayern. We also got a defender, Bowie, as well. He actually just went down with injury. Hopefully he gets better, and that happened during training. Actually, I read about that this morning. But I mean, it's just pretty calm transfer window.
But there's some big moves coming next year that have already been kind of confirmed. We'll get into them. Number one, Kylian Mbappe supposedly is going to become a free agent and probably go to Real Madrid. Thoughts on that one? Obviously,
apparently, Mbappe's camp already has the contract from Madrid already.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise.
They say, but I don't really
I feel like we've heard this rumor.
I don't see another spot for him.
I feel like we've heard this rumor for 3-4 years.
If this happens, if they finally get this done, then I do not see someone stopping Real Madrid next year. I don't.
No,
There's no way.
He won't go anywhere else.
You have Rodrigo on the right. Vinicius on the left. You have Mbappe up top now. And you have a really young midfield of Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Modric, Cruz still there, Valverde. And then the back left, you have one of the best young talents and the left back, the Spanish left back. It's slipping my name. But Fran Garcia. You got Fran Garcia, who's 22. You have a center back pairing of Rudiger and Eder Militao.
Just name the entire 11.
And you got Courtois. There is no way anybody is going to
name the entire starting 11. Why don't you? But what I was going to try to say
Thanks,
is
FIFA.
Real Madrid, a striker is what they've been missing this year.
I don't think they've missed it as much as people think. Joselu is doing a fantastic job holding up. He's sort of playing.
But if you put an Mbappe in there.
listen, their counterattacks. I see them. I see the Real Madrid's counterattacks next year being better than MSN at PSG.
Really,
I do.
Better than Messi, Suarez, Neymar. Really?
I don't
know about better than that. That was
Messi. Well, I guess MMN. Sorry, Messi. Neymar.
You think that was better than Messi, Suarez, and Neymar?
I
don't think there's a debate here. I think the top three is always going to be MSN.
I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting because
we've yet to see what they can do together.
Rodrigo's on the up. Vinny's scoring hat tricks left and right. I mean, and
we'll see how they work together. We'll see if they work together.
Well, I'm excited to see with Mbappe is how he's going to fit in another league. We've seen him struggle in the Champions League against a German side who's more physical.
Yeah.
We've seen him play against a couple La Liga teams where, you know how they bottled him? They were physical. They did not let him escape. They did not let him break away. And what you're going to see, as my prediction, he's going to go to Real Madrid. He's going to have a rough couple months sort of getting used to the physicality of La Liga.
Yeah.
Because La Liga, Sergio Ramos, who's a couple other center back La Liga names that were painful to play. You got Pepe. You have Gerard Piqué, you have Puyol, you have Mascherano.
I don't think he'll struggle. I think he'll hop right in. I mean, we saw what Holland did. Everyone's talking about whether Holland could, sustain in the Premier League.
Then it's just going to become back to the debate of who's better, Kylian Mbappe or
That basically is the debate right now.
Well, it's just like the whole Messi Ronaldo one.
That's
it's just going to be the battle of who wins what.
Yeah.
And that's kind of irrelevant at this point. Because you can say Mbappe's better than Haaland because he's won a World Cup.
You say Haaland's better because he won Champions League.
Exactly, correct. So, I mean, Messi, Ronaldo always will be at the same level. I think they're both out of this world. I think they're both
100%.
amazing players. I can never choose one, to be honest. I will never be able to choose one.
I've already chosen mine. I've
I
been knowing
understand
mine.
that, but still. But, I mean, interesting to see where Mbappe is going to end up.
Staying in La Liga, he's going to be leaving La Liga at the end of the year. Savio, he's been one of the best players. This has been confirmed. He is going to Manchester City.
It's a little shady. It's a little shady for Manchester City.
I'll explain
little shady.
I'll explain the ordeal here. So Girona is under the exact same ownership as City is, but Savio is technically a player from Troyes in the French league. He's on loan from Girona, so Man City bought him from Troyes and not Girona, so it's legal by technicality. But technically,
they know what they were doing. They knew what they were doing.
They know what they're doing.
Don't even. No. I like the signing though.
But I mean, he's a great player. He's going to fill in perfectly in the City squad. You have to think.
Where is he going to play in that City lineup?
It's tough to say. I mean, City had that. I mean, obviously De Bruyne's going to be up there in age now. Savio's what, like a central attacking midfielder?
He's more of a right wing. He's an attacker.
Winger.
He's an attacker. Yeah,
So
he's got that Brazilian flair.
Because I think Grealish his days might be coming to an end soon here for City. I think he might fill in that gap.
I don't know, man. I think he's going to struggle to find time. He's
just going to be another one of those subs that the Man City has.
What's going to happen?
Great.
What's going to happen is it's going to be another situation where we saw with Raheem Sterling. He's going to get phased out, and it's sort of down to who on that Man City roster is going to get phased out. And that's just the reality of it.
I think maybe Silva might leave at the end. There's been talks about Silva leaving for the last 3-4 years. Obviously, could he fill that slot in if Bernardo decides to leave?
I think Bernardo Silva is going to want an exit to Barcelona. I think
he's been trying to leave for a few years now.
Yeah, he's been trying to want to leave. I mean, I don't think he has the technical ability, the passing range that Bernardo Silva has. No, the passing range that Bernardo Silva has. The creativity, 100% in ball dribbling, technicality, all this stuff. Technically, very gifted player. I love watching this guy play. But that passing range of Bernardo Silva, if you do not have a KDB on that field, he's the guy that fills that role. Because you got rid of Gundogan, so you don't have a veteran presence there. And sort of Bernardo Silva has grown into that role of being that presence. So, very interesting.
Staying with City, supposedly they want to sign Michael Olise from Crystal Palace. The rumor is...
Stop poaching my players, bro.
The rumor is it's...
No.
Listen. The rumor is it's City versus United, but could someone else pop in and sign him?
He's staying. He's
staying at Palace.
He's staying at Palace.
Him being a young star, you think he's not going to leave?
No. He is staying at Palace. You know why he's staying at Palace?
Why?
Because he's going to be a homegrown boy. You saw Marcus Rashford.
We see homegrown players, but this is a smaller team in the Premier League.
Hey, if you're looking at it from Olise's perspective at the moment, I have him in FIFA. I've used his card so many times. I love the guy. I love how he plays in real life as a Crystal Palace fan. Charles loves Palace as well. Yeah. So I have to shout out our boys in Palace. Unfortunately got relegated, but we'll be back. I think the main motive of him leaving is going to be because of that relegation, if anything. They didn't get
relegated. They're still in it, aren't they? Yeah, they're still in it.
They're still in it? Oh, well, I mean,
I'm going to say,
it looks pretty grim, but
we'll look at the table in a minute, but
I don't see him leaving. If the only way I see Olise leaving
is if they get relegated.
I think sort of that was my point. I think I got sidetracked of thinking that they're already relegated, but that's the only way I see Olise leaving, because
I just think he would get bank going to a top 6 squad.
I would rather be, if I was here, I would rather be a large fish in a small pond and get my stock up for another year, be the guy, be the man, wear the shirt, get all the jersey, get all the signed fans, get everybody hype. I would do that for another year and then look at my options.
Staying in the Premier League, will he go anywhere? Ivan Toney.
No, He needs to get his gambling down first and then we can talk.
Well, I mean, he's back now from the suspension. Yeah, he's playing back to what he can be, and the rumor is a team like Man United might want him still.
Dude, Man United want everybody. Man City want everybody. Chelsea wants everybody. Chelsea's pocketbook literally drops on the floor, and you're like, oh, look. It keeps going. But, I mean, in reality, he is going to go somewhere. There are suitors for him.
He's the top striker.
Oh, 100%.
When he's not gambling, obviously.
But do I see him leaving in the summer? Yes. To who? I have no idea. Because you can look at a Serie A team. I mean, Tammy Abraham did that. And now in Roma, he's fitting in really well. He's playing really well. So a team's going to want him. Is he going to stay at Brentford? No. But I can't really look at you and be like, this team needs him. Because if you look at our Man United squad right now, you have Højlund coming up.
Hoyland is getting, he's starting to catch fire.
Cooking up.
He's starting to catch fire. I'll give him that.
Everybody was talking about, oh no, this kid's washed up already, and he's starting to catch fire.
They figured out how to use him.
Keep an eye on him. He's very good. And you got Garnacho on. You got the center mid. Oh gosh.
Bruno?
No. The African American center mid. Mwobi or something like that.
The youngster, yeah.
38. Yeah. I love that kid. That kid is great. I think Man United have a really youthful team going into this. And because you already have Marcus Rashford.
Yeah.
You have some veteran leadership as well. Man United, no. Somewhere, yes.
Liverpool. Mohamed Salah. The rumor is he might go to Saudi Arabia.
No.
No. This was a few weeks ago. There's a report that he was going to go to Saudi Arabia, but now it's kind of fallen back a little bit.
Yeah, no, he's not going.
But, with the report of, we'll go to the next slide, Jurgen Klopp retiring.
What happens here is I think Salah and a lot of Liverpool players are going to start evaluating their options. Mm-hmm. Because if I was Salah and I was in his shoes, I'd wait for them to get a new coach, see what the new coach has, and if I don't agree with the project, I'm moving on.
Yeah, because
there is suitors.
Jurgen Klopp has built this squad from the dust. I mean, he came over. Liverpool had really fallen off considering their history. He built them back up with not much ownership backing him and won Champions Leagues.
This guy's a great coach. I mean, I hope he doesn't retire. I hope he goes.
That's the rumors that he's done. He's retiring. This might be it.
I mean, if he does retire, legendary coach. What 100%. He's done with the team, I mean, he probably resurrected that team from the dust and made a diamond.
And I mean, even this year, they're still, I think, first place in the Premier League, looking to chase another title, a second one for him.
I think it's his time. There's a lot of what happens here now and then is managers overstay their welcome. Mm-hmm. And, maybe they're staying at a bed and breakfast, but instead of bed and breakfast, they stay for 2 weeks instead of their scheduled 3 days. And I think this is a perfect sending off if they go ahead and win the Premier League.
I wouldn't prefer it personally, but we'll.
No, I would. Anybody but City.
Okay.
Anybody but City.
You're just a hater.
Yeah, I am. Correct.
An interesting report, a blue card possibly being introduced in the sport. It looks purple on our screen. Hopefully it's blue.
No, it's going to be too much like hockey. I hate this. I hate this idea of a blue card. It's going to turn into hockey. What? I can two-foot you and just sit out
because
for
the report
10
is it would be a 10 minutes sitting out of the game.
This is going to not only change the game, but also give players an opportunity to get more cheap shots. You're going to see more injuries without if I go and tackle you, Jace, I get a yellow card. Mm-hmm. I go the entire game knowing that I cannot do anything crazy. You introduce this blue card, okay, so 2 yellows equals a red, plus I could get like 3 blue cards, and that's fine. I can tackle here, I can push you there, I can grab you here. We are going to see.
But it puts your team down a man for 10 minutes.
But it's only for 10 minutes. 2 yellow cards, you're done.
These also apply to goalkeepers, meaning if goalies get a blue card, then
I don't know how that's going to work. That's absurd.
That'd be weird.
I like the idea. I love the idea, but this is not the way to do it.
Okay.